What up YouTube, Zeku here. I dropped this Dragonmaid deck profile last week, but since then I've been playing quite a bit in the current meta, and I felt like the Dragunity Dragonmaid combo variant was a bit lackluster since it died to single hand traps, didn't do too much playing through bots, and was getting a bit stale to play. Therefore, I have come up with a new decklist inspired with rockets in the making, and will showcase this decklist today. So let's get into the decklist real quick. Here we have our Dragonmaid links, as I call it. Quick overview. We have Psyframe Driver, Black Metal Dragon, Rocket Synchron, Mist Valley Baby Rock, 2 Psyframe Gear Gamma, 1 Nurse Dragonmaid, 3 copies of Remus, 2 copies of Palor, 1 copy of Blackwing Sephiroth the Elite, 1 Black Dragon Collab Serpent, 1 White Dragon Wyver Buster, 2 copies of Rocket Tracer, 1 Rocket Recharger, 2 copies of Chamber, 1 Fallen of Albus, 1 Dragunity Legatus, 1 Mistletoe, 1 Tempest, Ruler of the Storm Dragons, 1 Dino Wrestler Pancratops, 1 Absol Dragon, 1 Dragonmaid Ernest, 1 Noctovision Dragon, 1 Dragonmaid Lorpa, 1 Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon, and 1 Dragunity Amagram. For the spells, we run 1 Gold Sarcophagus, 1 Hospitality, 1 Changeover, 1 Lightning Storm, 3 copies of Chaos Space, 1 Dragunity Glow, 2 Ravine, 1 Boot Sector Launch, 1 Mystical Space Typhoon, 2 Quick Launch, 2 Caught by the Grave, 1 Forbidden Droplet, and 2 Dragonmaid Tiding. For the extra deck, we have Borrelord Furious Dragon, Albion the Branded Dragon, House Dragonmaid, Dragonmaid Sheu, Dragunity Knight, Gaydark, Borrelord Savage Dragon, Chaos Ruler, Hot Red Dragon Archfiend Abyss, Heretic Dragon King of Atum, 1 Guard Dragon Pisti, 2 Striker Dragons, 2 Heretic Seals of the Heavenly Spheres, and 1 Dragunity Knight Romulus. Without further ado, let's get into some replays. As I go through the replays, I will explain some of the card choices. You might be wondering about cards like Fawn of Albus still. He proved to be a very strong asset versus Eldlich in particular. If I can, yes, this is an Eldlich replay. Let me just go ahead and play this replay. I felt the need that, I felt that it was really hard to get around skill drain using just Heretic Seals as an out, and just searching into the Dragonmaid trap would not cut it consistently enough to be able to do something about it. So I had to go back to using the Fawn of Albus route, just to have a consistent go around for skill drain and the likes. As you can see, my opponent opens as skilled as he is with skill drain and editor of Scarlet Sanguine. I have nothing to do against that, so I'm kind of, fucked at this point. Still proceed to do my Dragunity combo here, since I have some things to do with it. Went ahead and grabbed the Ravine. Use the Ravine to dump my Sephiroth, send my Amagram to the graveyard, just summon him out. Make my Amagram, make the chamber, just beat over his Eldlich and go direct for a little bit. And go into Heretic Seals of Heavenly Spheres. So at this point, the game is going to be pretty stale. I can't really combo, I can't do much because of the skill drain. He's going to summon out his Golden Lord. Not much I can do about that. And he's going to start cycling through his traps, just like any Eldlich player would. He sets 2 more, proceeds to the battle phase. I bounce back the skill drain, go into chamber to search some tiding, just to have some leeway in the following turn. And he proceeds to set the skill drain again, goes into the next turn. I have 1 turn for a Gold Sarcophagus. Using the Dragon Ravine, discarding the Changeover since it wouldn't help me anyways in this situation. He flips the skill drain again, pops the Conquistador, because it will get rid of my Ravine, not allowing me to send a monster to the graveyard. I go for the Dragunity Glow just to thin out my deck a bit more. I'm not going to attempt doing the Dragonity combo anymore at this point. Just getting rid of the... just putting more stuff in the graveyard so I can summon out Armagram. He drops the Dogmatica punishment on me, which is pretty insane. But yeah, it worked out for him. He pokes for 25, not too big of a deal. But he has no follow-up to set, so yeah, at this point he's getting into a lot of trouble. Since I also get my Tempest back, I can just discard it. He also went ahead and set the Maxi, which allows me to chain Gamma since I don't control any monsters. That's where this little guy is really strong in this deck. So we have kind of a board now. We have Skill Drain sitting there, but we can actually special summon Armagram by banishing Tempest and one copy of our chamber. And he brings the next Conquistador. At this point I misplayed. I could have just used the Tiding to take back Armagram and bounce back the Skill Drain, but it doesn't matter at this point anymore. I could have also activated Parlor at this point when I summoned her. But again, it doesn't matter. I got rid of the Skill Drain. I make my Chaos Ruler, mill the top 5 cards of my deck and add a Light or Dark monster to my hand. Having found the Noctovision is pretty decent here, since it allows me to get a special summon along with the Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon. This also allows me to special summon out the Remus with Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon. I decide to add the Rocket Synchron and discard the Rocket Synchron since I thought it would give me some place, which it did not. However, I just went ahead, special summoned Remus since I control Gaydark. Use Striker Dragon effect to recycle the Rocket Synchron to my hand. Went into the battle phase and just beat over him. I forgot that I did not have the Baby Rock to use this guy again. I just made seals at this point, used the effect of Noctovision to draw a card since he was used for Link Summon, and left both of these cards on the field, which is really important as it does not allow him to cycle more through his deck, and therefore he cannot set another Scarlet Elixir at this point. He's sending one of those cards to the graveyard just to summon out his Golden Lord, and the set card is a Skill Drain indeed. Since now he's going into the battle phase, I give him back one of his trap cards, since I don't care if he activates it anymore at this point. Using my Alder's play to get his Golden Lord off the field. Using the Albion play, just banishing 2 Dark Dragons, making Boreal Furious Dragon. He now has to skip his main phase 2. At this point, he set a Conquistador face down, which is the one I gave him back to the hand. This is a Skill Drain, so I know whatever he has. He's going to banish the Conquistador and sets a card. But I don't care about that. I want to get rid of the Skill Drain, so I use Borrelord Savage Dragon in my end phase to get rid of that. And also use my Dragonmaid Tiding in the end phase as well to get some more resources for the following turn. So yeah, at this point the game is pretty much over. My opponent can't really do much anymore. He can use his Scarlet Sanguine Elixir there. I don't care about the second Golden Lord on the field. However, important is that I still have my Borrelord Furious Dragon here. Again, Conquistador of the Golden Land is a continuous trap, which is still treated as a continuous trap even after it is summoned. And continuous traps need to remain face up on the field in order to successfully resolve their effects. So I just wait for him to activate it, chain Borrelord Furious, killing itself to destroy the Conquistador, and he does not get to destroy a card on the field. He proceeds to resolve his Scarlet Elixir, bringing out the second Golden Lord, but I get my mill with the Ravine, which allows me to use Absororder's effect, adding Rocket Recharger to my hand. I activate Boot Sector Launch, summoning both Rocket Recharger and Rocket Tracer, which allows me to make a Synchro Summon for Borrelord Savage Dragon. It also doesn't matter if I gain any attack or not, I just want the 2 Borrel counters to have some negations going. Using my Dragonmaid Hospitality, I'm summoning out Parlor, also milling Lopper at this point, recycling my Changeover, bringing back Armagram, and at this point I'm feeling like I know all of his graveyard. Even if he has one card in hand, it doesn't matter, I have Borrelord Savage to negate it. So I'm just going to go to the battle phase, beat over all of his things, BM him a little bit because we all hate Eldlich, using Armogram so he can't recycle him from the graveyard, just beat over his guys and going for game. And yeah, because skill drain is really obnoxious to deal with in this deck, I felt like it was necessary to incorporate the Albas portion again, just to make sure this somehow works out. So what do we have here? We have a game versus a what's it called? Tri-brigade player. Let's watch this as well. It was a win, and after this maybe we can look at a lose or a quicker game where I probably could combo a bit more. So we start off. Again, my opponent going first. I was not lucky with the coin tosses. But yeah, it doesn't really matter. He opens, of course, with Fire Formation Tanky, grabbing the Fractal, discarding Fractal to send Kit. Kit sends Nerval, Nerval goes ahead and adds Kit to the hand. Activates Keras to discard the second Kit to special summon Keras. Keras, for whatever reason, makes Rasvelger. He proceeds to make Hammerkong and wastes all of his Exist materials by making a, for whatever reason, 4 or 3 material Trident. Literally just going into Trident is enough. You can only use him once per turn. There's no point slamming as many materials as you can on this. I decide to special summon my Pancratops. He immediately shotguns the Trident, which is a stupid decision on his end. So I decide to just tribute the Pancratops in response to shoot his face down card in case it is a revolt. Then I normal summon Rocket Synchron, making Striker Dragon. Striker Dragon allows me to add Boot Sector Launch. Boot Sector Launch allows me to then... Oh yeah. First, I use the second effect of Striker Dragon, which allows me to target one face-up monster I control and one rocket monster in my graveyard, destroy that monster on the field, and if I do, add the other monster to my hand. So essentially, I just destroy Striker Dragon to add Rocket Synchron back to my hand, which then allows me to summon out Rocket Tracer and Synchron, both with the effect of Boot Sector Launch, and at that point, since I control 2 light and or dark monsters, I can special summon Galactic Spyro Dragon from my hand. Galactic Spyro Dragon then gets destroyed by the effect of Rocket Tracer, letting me summon Recharger from the deck. So I go into, what's it called, Chaos Ruler. Since I also have the Rocket Synchron in the field, I mill some cards to add the chamber for the next turn in my hand. I cannot finish this turn. And I proceed to special summon Hot Red Dragon Archfiend Abyss. Since the Zoodiac Trident was equipped with Whiptail, if I were going to run over it, I had to negate it first. And there were no real other threats on his board at this time. So I just negated the effects and beat it down with Hot Red Dragon Archfiend Abyss. A misplay on my end here was I could have summoned the Chaos Ruler by banishing Gamma and Noctovision Dragon from my graveyard, and could have also beaten over this Tri-brigade Keras, but I forgot to do that, which will come to bite me back in the following turn, since this allows him to actually do a not bad turn. So at this point he tries to use Tri-brigade Keras, but I can just negate his effects with Hot Red Dragon Archfiend Abyss, so he banished 4 and gets nothing. Sadly, I don't have any more negations left over now. And he proceeds to make Access Code Talker, which is pretty bad for me. However, he just goes to... Oh yeah, he also proceeds to make another Zoodiac play. He summons Zoroblade, Tiger Mortar into Bobo. Again, he made the bad decision in the previous turn to use a lot of materials to make Trident, which leads to him only having a free material Zeus at this point, but I have no more cards on the field and I'm in quite a predicament here. I decide to keep my normal summon to literally just out everything he tries to do here. So I banish my Gamma as a summoning cost for my Black Dragon Color Serpent. to special summon it and go into Striker Dragon. Afterwards, I use Striker Dragon to target my Recharger, which then adds my Recharger to the hand. After this, because a Link monster on my field was, or a Dark monster that was special summoned from the extra deck, is destroyed by battle or card effect, it was destroyed by a card effect, I can then send my Recharger from your hand or graveyard to the field. Since it was not on my hand at the time of activation, I should not be able to activate this, but at one point Konami ruled it so that private knowledge locations, which are your extra deck, your hand, and your deck, as well as your set cards. Those are all private knowledge locations. However, in general, your field is not treated as a private knowledge location. The important part here is your hand is an actual private knowledge location. Therefore, the game allows you to activate a card or effect whose trigger was met even while that card was not in that location, to activate it even though the trigger was met while it was not there. Because technically you could be running 2 rocket rechargers and you would be able to activate the second rocket recharger if you had him in your hand. But since the hand is a private knowledge location and your opponent is not supposed to know what you run in your hand, you are allowed to do the play like this, even though you only run 1 rocket recharger, and you can use this effect to your advantage. If you were to special summon the rocket recharger to your field, let's say with the effect of Tracer, you would destroy your Striker Dragon and would summon Recharger to the field. You would not be able to use this effect because you summoned him to a public location, public knowledge location, and he was not there when his trigger was met, so you could not activate him. The important part is taking him to the hand with Striker Dragon. So then again, to explain this, Recharger targets that one monster that was destroyed. I have to special summon 1 dark monster from my graveyard with a different original name from that targeted monster, which then allows me to just put this Hot Red Dragon Archfiend Abyss on the field, and now I have a chain negation for his Zeus, and I can literally not care about this effect. So I just proceed to negate the Zeus effect, and yeah, what do you know? He activates Torrential Tribute in response. This leaves him in a way worse state than me, since I can still play through whatever I want to. I still have my Viper Buster, which I can summon by banishing 1 dark monster. I can go into Pisty. I can still revive my Chaos Ruler by just banishing 1 light and dark. And then I proceed to go into Heretic Seals of the Heavenly Spheres. Heretic Seals of the Heavenly Spheres. And I can also set Dragonmaid Tiding. My opponent is left with 1 card to draw. He could not have played through that with Tri-brigade. I draw, normal summon Dragonmaid, a Chamber Dragonmaid to activate her effect, and my opponent is left with nothing to do. I would have killed him on this turn. However, knowing all of these things led to me winning this game. Let's see if there was another game that could maybe work. This is not very interesting since my opponent, for whatever reason, decided not to play. He actually opened on Pot of Duality and he added the Inspector Border, but he decided not to summon him. I don't know if this guy was just playing to lose or what, but he decided just not to do anything. In this game I was playing against an Adamancipator. Let's play this as a final replay here. I believe I was going first in this game for a change. So I had a pretty bad starting hand here. If I was just playing the Dragunity build, this would have been a dead hand. I would have done nothing with this. But since I tried to incorporate the rockets and since I had Noctovision Dragon, this allowed me to actually do some things. I was stupid and did not summon my Noctovision on the special summon of Striker. Therefore, I had to use the Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon here, which then allowed me to chain Striker again since the Dark Dragon was summoned. I used both of these to make Romulus, allowing me to chain link 1 Noctovision Dragon and Chainlink to Romulus. Noctovision Dragon, for all of you who are interested, if this card is sent to the graveyard as link material, you can draw one card. And Romulus lets me add any Dragunity spell or trap or one Dragon Ravine from my deck to my hand. I already confirmed that my opponent had no hand trap after doing the Striker Dragon play. They allowed me to add Boot Sector Launch with no possibility to respond, which is why I went for Chainlink 1 Noctovision, Chainlink 2 Romulus, which just lets me search a card before drawing something since the chain resolves from behind. So now I added the Dragon Ravine, activate Ravine by discarding Zephyrus, adding the Remus, discarding the Remus for its own effect, activating a second Ravine, and basically just attempting to do the Dragunity chain route here. I am 100% certain on my stream I clicked to discard the Psyframe driver. For whatever reason the game decided to discard my Rocket Tracer here, which actually annoyed me a lot at that point. However, I kept the driver in hand and don't know why. I am certain I discarded the driver, not the Tracer. It is what it is. I made a bad play here, or rather the game definitely forced me to make the bad play if I did not do it myself. So I was left with only being able to do the Chaos Ruler here. I could have also done the, Borrowed Savage Dragon, but I had no links in graveyard, so it would not have done anything. So I made Chaos Ruler, used the effect, luckily drew into another Tracer, which allowed me to do my follow-up play that I initially intended. I also milled a Chaos Space, which allows me to banish from the graveyard to target one light or dark monster that is banished and cannot be normal summoned or set, place it on the bottom of the deck and draw one card. Any extra deck monster by default cannot be normal summoned or set, even if it does not specifically say that. So if you ever have any light or dark banished monster from the extra deck, you can always put those back into the extra deck with Chaos Space and draw a card. Then I proceeded to use Dragunity Glow, got out the Mistletoe, used my Glow, special summon Gaydark, using Gaydark to add and dump Chamber. There was not a real point to keep her there. Went to make Erratic Dragon King Atum. Atum then summons out Parlour Dragonmaid. Since I already used my Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon at the start, I also brought out the Galactic Spiral Dragon here from the graveyard, using its effect by having two light and or dark monsters. And now I go into some Link plays, which is why this deck is actually called Dragon Link. Since I had on the field a Parlour and a Nurse Dragonmaid, I could make Pisty and Striker, who both require a level 4 or lower Dragon monster. I brought back my Nurse using the effect of Pisty, using the effect of Nurse, which I had not previously used in this turn, to also bring back Chamber. Using the also milled Dragonmaid Changeover to make a Dragonmaid Sheo here. And then I used my special summon on the Tracer that I had left from my Boot Sector launch to special summon the Tracer, using a level 4 Tuner Tracer and a level 4 non-tuner Chamber Dragonmaid to put up a Borrowed Savage Dragon with Romulus as 2 negates. And I also had a Dragonmaid Tidying to set, so at this point I had 4 interruptions for my opponent. 5 if they were running any light or dark monsters. My opponent plays Adamancipator and normal summon Doki Doki, which already is a pretty bad sign for their hand. Therefore, on the normal summon, I just shotgun the Heretic Seals, put the Doki Doki back into the hand, go ahead and special summon out my Absorauder Dragon. I decided not to go for any Dragonmaid summons here, since my graveyard is already set on all the Dragonmaids, and I'd rather like to see a Tracer in my hand next turn to be able to special summon out the Rocket Synchron, so I can make a Hot Red Dragon Archfiend Abyss next turn if I needed to. My opponent proceeded to activate the effect of Block Dragon. He banished 3 rocks from his hand to special summon it. He was probably going to do some kind of link play with this, or maybe use one of his Adamancipators in the hand. I can't see it, sadly. Maybe he had the Adamancipator guy that can special summon himself if he controls a rock monster, but I'm not having any of that. I just want my Pisty back in the deck. I want this Block Dragon gun out of my side. using my Dragonmaid Tiding, putting the Block Dragon back into his hand where it belongs. Since he only had 2 other cards in his hand, he was not able to special summon it again, and therefore he could not continue to play at this turn. So yeah, tell me in the comments what you like, what you think of this deck. If you like what you see, as you can see, I am currently in Platinum 4. I have not been able to climb with this. I have been fiddling around a bit still over the course of this attempted climb. The deck list I showed at the beginning of this video is the, for now, I think most stable and suited one for the meta. If you have not done it yet, like, follow, and subscribe, please. And this is Zeku, signing out. Have a good night, everyone. Or a good day. I don't know at what time you watch this video. And hope to hear from you in the comments. If you like this video, if you like the deck, if you need any more ideas, let me know. And I will try to respond.